guilty of all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in New York for covering up hush money to a porn star.
We did our job. The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken.
Donald Trump became the first president in American history to be convicted of felonies. We're in totally uncharted territory.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt.
The room was very tense. Trump at first was looking at the jury as they were delivering their verdict. Then he kind of stared blankly ahead as the truth of what just happened settled in. It's standard after a jury returns a conviction for the defense team to move for what's called the directed verdict.
We move for a judgment of acquittal. There's no basis and there's no way this jury could have reached a verdict without accepting the testimony of Mr. Cohen, and we believe unequivocally that that testimony, even though it would stand in this courtroom, that he lied, there was perjury committed, and there is no reason that the court should allow a verdict.
Your motion is denied.
Part of the strategy here is to preserve Trump's options on appeal, and he is sure to appeal this conviction. The judge has set a sentencing hearing for July 11th, just 4 days before the Republican National Convention. Justice Juan Merchan will declare whether Trump will be sentenced to a term in prison, whether he'll get something lighter like probation or other form of supervised release.
I'm a very innocent man. This is long from over. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
The Constitution doesn't say anything about felons running for president, and there is no bar on a convicted felon becoming president. We know that he can run for president, but can he vote for president? And the answer is somewhat complicated and somewhat unclear. Some legal experts who have commented that Florida would defer to other states' practices about voting rights in that scenario. And New York apparently would allow people in Trump's shoes to vote while they're appealing their sentences.
You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil.
Trump, of course, is trying to use the verdict to fundraise and to boost his campaign and to portray himself as a martyr. In fact, he sent out fundraising messages immediately after the verdict was handed down. There frankly weren't a lot of new revelations about Trump and who he is that came out during this trial. I'm not sure it will move the needle all that much in the political sphere. Trump, of course, is still facing 3 other indictments in 3 separate criminal cases.
Your Honor, we would ask for a date for sentencing on some date in mid to late July. The reason for that is, as the court is aware, President Trump faces other charges in other jurisdictions.
There's a case in Washington, D.C., alleging that he tried to overthrow the 2020 election. There's a case in Georgia alleging that he conspired to subvert the election results in Georgia in 2020. And there's a case in Florida alleging that he hoarded very sensitive national security secrets at Mar-a-Lago after he left the White House. All 3 of those cases have been stalled for various reasons, but they all do remain pending. So you can see how all of these legal troubles are mounting upon themselves, even though the other cases do look unlikely that they will go to trial before Election Day.